From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, November 25th, 2014. Silver is trading at $16.63 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,198 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $385. Antiwar.com reports Senator Rand Paul has unveiled a draft declaration of war against the Islamic State that he intends to introduce in the Senate in December, authorizing limited ground operations against the Islamic State. Congress has not declared a single war since World War II, when it declared war in the wake of Pearl Harbor. On the one hand, Senator Paul's push is seen as an aim to assert congressional authority to declare wars during an era when wars tend to be unilateral presidential decisions. Yet, his bill is being harshly criticized by anti-war groups as well, which see the draft declaration as risky, particularly to the extent that it defines limited operations well beyond what President Obama has already announced. Justin Raimondo predicted that the attempt to limit the scope was a strategy likely to backfire and simply open the door to a wider war, adding that attempts to limit the introduction of ground troops will never hold. Code Pink co-founder Medea Benjamin also criticized the move, saying that Senator Rand Paul, who has supported the Islamic State war so far, is not his father's son anymore and risks alienating supporters of Ron Paul by positioning himself as more pro-intervention. Benjamin added, if people want a candidate who's going to be pro-intervention, they might as well vote for Hillary Clinton. President Obama has yet to comment on the proposal, but has expressed support for an authorization for the use of military force, a legal shorthand occasionally used in wars that fall short of formal declarations. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. USA Today reports Darren Wilson will not face charges for shooting Michael Brown. A St. Louis County grand jury declined to indict Officer Wilson for firing 6 shots in an August confrontation that killed the 18-year-old. The decision has been long awaited and followed rioting that resembled war-zone news footage in the St. Louis suburb. Prosecutor Robert McAuliffe made the announcement in an unusual nighttime presentation in a courtroom. He spoke at length about media coverage of the case and what he called the unreliability of eyewitness accounts. He said the grand jury weighed evidence and testimony before concluding there was no probable cause to indict the officer, saying the duty of the grand jury is to separate fact from fiction. Brown's family later released a statement saying, "We are profoundly disappointed that the killer of our child will not face the consequences of his actions." They urged others who share their pain to channel their frustration in ways that will make a positive change. FPP Radio News is brought to you by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage. For over 35 years, Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They now take Bitcoin for purchasing precious metals so you can turn your profits into a long-term investment. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing. 800-874-9760. Antiwar.com reports NATO officials are officially outraged at Russia again, this time because the Russian Federation signed a treaty of economic and military cooperation with its tiny neighbor, the Republic of Abkhazia. NATO is mad because it does not recognize the right of Abkhazia to exist as an independent republic and wants it eventually annexed into Georgia. They complain the treaty would not contribute to Abkhazia's ceasing to exist. Georgia complained the deal, which secured military backing for Abkhazia's continued existence, amounted to a Russian annexation of Georgian soil and a violation of their sovereignty. Abkhazia's status has been disputed since the breakup of the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union broke up, Georgia sought to include Abkhazia, arguing Soviet-granted autonomy no longer applied. The Republic of Abkhazia reasserted itself at the end of the 1992-93 war and the 2008 Russo-Georgian War, further cementing its status as an independent republic that, because of NATO-Russian tensions, no one in NATO will ever recognize. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.